Hello and welcome. This time Daniel Explores went to Veliki Preslav. Veliki Preslav, the second capital of the First Bulgarian Empire, was built by Tsar Simeon I. This new splendid capital was built in less than 30 years, to rival in sophistication Constantinople and in beauty the Frankish royal court in Aachen. This is a two-part video. In this video I tell you about some of the important events that led to the creation of Veliki Preslav. In the second video I will tell you about the rise and fall of the beautiful capital. And it was beautiful. This is how John the Exarch in the late 9th, early 10th century, a scholar for Preslav, describes the capital. When a traveller sees the gatehouse of the royal court, he is at first astonished. As he approaches the gates, he is lost in total wonder. When he enters, on either side he sees houses decorated with prized stones and wood, and completely painted. And if he goes further to the small courtyard, he sees tall palaces and churches, decorated with stone, wood and colour, and inside with marble and bronze, silver and gold. By that point he will not know what he could compare it to, for in his own land he has seen nothing like it.
The king, well, Khan, still Khan, of Tsar, Boris I. He's the one that converted the Bulgaria to Christianity.
This was a three-nave basilica. It ends with 3 apses. The columns supported the central nave and helped distributing the weight to the side walls that were reinforced with buttresses. It was the royal basilica. There aren't a lot of descriptions available, so I am making a few assumptions here. Based on John the Exarch descriptions and that this capital was built to impress, there were frescoes on the walls, and gilded and painted reliefs adorned the interiors of the church. I am taking you towards the palace complex. The Bulgarian kingdom had a capital, Pliska, so why build a new one? The answer to the question has its roots in how the Bulgarian kingdom started. A clan of Proto-Bulgarians arrived in Bulgaria around 668. The state of Great Bulgaria in the steppes of modern Ukraine is attacked by the Khazars. Rather than become a vassal, Khan Asparuh takes his people across the Danube into northern Bulgaria. This event is remembered to this day in the white and red threads of the Martinitsa. Link to my video on the Martinitsa below. Asparuh meets the Slavic people living in the region. As the Roman Empire's power declines, Slavic tribes begin to raid the area, but by the 5th to the 6th century they have settled in the territory. There are the descendants of the Antes. The Antes came mostly from parts of Ukraine and Moldova, and the Veneti. The Veneti mostly came from Poland. And there are the descendants of the older residents of the region, such as the Thracians, Greeks, and veterans from all over the old Roman Empire. The Slavic tribes have formed a loose alliance to repel attacks from the Avars and the Byzantines. They are known as the Seven Tribes. The Seven Tribes agree to recognize the sovereignty of Khan Asparuh in exchange for help in fighting the Byzantines. Asparuh leads the alliance to victory in 681. Asparuh's people are a minority in their own kingdom. Under Asparuh and his successors' leadership, the kingdom grows. The descendants of Asparuh's people are the ruling elite, but the kingdom cannot function without the Slavic element. As the state grows, fractures begin to appear between the pagan Asparuh's Bulgarians and the predominantly Christian Slavs. Under Khan Omurtag, he reigned between 814 and 831, Christians were persecuted. Christianity was closely associated with Byzantium, an on and off enemy of the Khans. Missionaries and priests often came from Byzantium, and under the mantle of religion they could spread support for the Byzantines against the Khans' rule. Roll forward to Boris I in 852. Persecution is not an option. The state cannot function or defend itself without the Christian population. Many of the boyars, the ruling class, worship the old gods. The Slavic people, who are the majority, are mainly Christians. Boris is faced with the same problem Omurtag had. Byzantium could undermine the country from within by riding on the back of the Christian missionaries. Internationally, Boris was a pagan king surrounded by mostly Christian rulers that could unite against him at any time. Moreover, converting to Christianity may grant him a seat at the table of international diplomacy. Boris sees the value of adopting Christianity as the state religion. Boris I converts around the mid-865, and the formal Christianization of the country begins. Not everyone is happy, and the group of boyars revolts. Boris is quick to put down the revolt. The leaders and their families are executed, and no mercy is shown. The power that Christianity may grant to Byzantium is still a problem. Most of the priests and missionaries come from the Byzantine Empire. Boris finds a solution in the disciples of Saint Cyril and Methodius, Clement and Naum. Clement and Naum adopt the alphabet created by Cyril and Methodius and develop a written language for the local Slavic people, and then use it to translate the liturgy, the Christian texts. Boris's subject will learn about Christianity in their own language. No need for Byzantine missionaries and priests. It is early days, and Boris writes to the Pope in Rome asking for guidance in matters of the faith, and to develop diplomatic relations with the Papal States. Pope Nicholas I's reply to Boris is a very interesting example of religious guidance and careful international diplomacy, in my opinion. The Pope is careful in reassuring Boris that he will be able to continue to reign as a near absolute ruler. He should try to show some clemency, but if he confesses and makes amends, he will be forgiven. Boris abdicated and became a monk in 889. His son and king tries to reintroduce the old religion. Boris comes out of retirement and puts down the rebellion. This time, though, he remembers to show some mercy. Boris blinds his son and shaves his son's wife's head and packs her off to a monastery, instead of executing them both like he did to the boyars that rebelled in 865. The throne goes to Simeon, Boris's youngest son, but with a warning. Try to bring back the old ways and you will end up like your brother. Parenthood was tough in those days, especially when an entire kingdom was at stake. And finally, I can tell you why a new capital was needed. Pliska was the capital of the Old Kingdom, of rulers such as Khan or Mutag, who ruled over a collection of different peoples separated by lineage, religion and culture. Veliki Preslav marks the beginning of a new era, in which the people are one. Boris and then Simeon created the idea of the Bulgarian ethnos, a unique and unified identity based on shared culture, language and then traditions for all the people in the kingdom. Over centuries, this identity is pushed into the background but not forgotten, and it evolves. The written language that Boris brought to Bulgaria becomes the center of Bulgarian identity, irrespective of faith. If the birth of a people-nation could be located in space and time, well, I would say that the Bulgarian narod, or the Bulgarian ethnos, was born here at the hands of a father and son with great foresight. I have put a link to some of the sources I have used in the description below. If you're interested in the emergence of the Bulgarian identity, I would recommend Professor Dall'Europa's essay. It is in English and very readable. In my next video I will tell you a bit more about Tsar Simeon I and the rise and fall of Veliki Preslav. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, that would be wonderful. I publish in English, in Italian and Bulgarian. Thank you for watching, stay curious, have a lovely day, bye bye!